Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Rob's Little Blue Book. And the first thing we're going to do tonight is a mic check, because I am trying a new mic tonight, and it's a shotgun mic, and I just want to know that everybody can hear me okay. So this is the new mic. I'm hoping it will not pick up as much surround. It's supposed to pick up more or less just me, and maybe not so much cooking noise. So holler out if you can hear me okay. I'd like to know that. Oh, and the chat's still bugged. Okay, and the other thing I'm noticing, guys, is the chat is still not showing properly. No idea why. So when you chat, I can see your chat, but you won't see it until maybe Serena can bump the chat every once in a while so you guys can see it. Anyway, the new camera has moved all of my stuff around, but if I sound good, I'm really happy with the new mic. So, okay, great. So, let's talk about tonight. Really excited about tonight. We're doing a really classic Italian dish, and one of the things we're going to be doing a little bit differently tonight is, I had a couple of people say, yeah, you know, of course you can put it together in 15 seconds because of 15 minutes. Oh yeah? Okay. Great. Oh, okay, well then I'm not worried. I'm not worried. Okay, I can't see it on my window, but it's okay. But one of the things people keep saying is, yeah, you make everything so fast because you have everything ready to go. So I am going to do all of the prep tonight with you guys. In part because this is a pretty easy dish, and I'm just not in a hurry tonight. So relax, we're gonna have a good time. We are gonna start with a drink that has been requested many times, the Dacquiri. But specifically, we're gonna do something called the Hemingway Dacquiri. And the Hemingway Daiquiri is only different in that it adds a little bit of Luxardo, maraschino liquor, maraschino, I guess technically, a little bit of grapefruit juice, and a pinch of salt. I've never made one before, but it looked really good. So we're gonna do that tonight. And we're gonna talk a little bit about, it's a shake and drink. So we've got our shaker. We're gonna talk a little bit about ice and diluting a drink. So when you shake a drink, you are doing two things. Primarily, you are cooling the drink. Honestly, you can mix the drink just by giving it one good shake, and the drink would be mixed. However, you are also cooling the drink, and you are also diluting it slightly. It turns out that once you get to about 10 seconds, there's no point in shaking your drink anymore. You have achieved maximum coolness at that point, and also maximum dilution. So you don't have to go crazy with shaking your drink. It will get diluted to its saturation point, and also be as cold as it can be after about 10 seconds. And the other thing I was looking into was, does the shape of the ice matter? Is a big cube better? Is a bunch of little cubes better? And it turns out it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in terms of cooling, and it doesn't really matter in terms of dilution, with one caveat. Apparently, and I actually had to make one because I lost my things, you want a big ice cube, which I made this in this little ramekin here. You want a big ice cube because it mixes the drink, especially a drink with lime juice in it, better. If you just use one big ice cube, you won't get the dilution you want in your drink. So we're going to throw in a couple small ones as well. So it turns out that size does matter, but both big and small are good. Okay, so let's continue on with this one. 2 ounces of rum. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I forgot, we need fruit for this. I said I was doing everything from scratch. So, we have a grapefruit here, and this is going to go in our grapefruit press thing. Should I switch? I'll switch to the camera. Where is it here? There we go. And we have the new food cam this week, which I'm still really happy with. So everything's in 4K Technicolor. This is my juice press for like doing big things like grapefruit. It also works great for mine. Okay, that's way more than I need, but whatever. All right, and we'll mix this into this one. So we want half an ounce of grapefruit juice. Yeah, the food cam I'm really impressed with the quality of the food camera. Very happy with it, actually. Don't need that. And lime here, which I probably shouldn't cut on the counter, but I'm going to anyway. This thing really does make sure you get the maximum press out of your fruit. In fact, if you do have one of these, you can actually pull too hard, because if you extract too much of the pith, your juice gets bitter. You don't want that. So yeah, I think we're good there. You can go out of the way for now. I should just put this right out of the way. We want 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. And I just realized I should have doubled this recipe. I made 2 drinks. Oh well. I'm gonna taste this one and then pass it on, I think. Actually, I think I'm gonna get 2 here. Yep, okay, no problems. Half the time, Serena likes the cocktails, and then the other half the time she doesn't, so I'm gonna make one for her as well tonight, which means I have to double everything. So we've got our lime juice, we've got our grapefruit juice. You do want a pinch of salt in this one, so that goes in. And then for this drink, for me it's gonna be 4 ounces, for you guys it would be 2. Another thing about shaken cocktails especially is that they lose their flavor and brightness pretty quick. So while I'm all for, like, I like a good sized drink, and when you're making a Manhattan or something like that, or a built drink or a stirred drink, that's no problem. But for shaken drinks, make more and make them a little smaller. Okay, you got the lime. Oh yeah, an ounce of Luxardo. We've got our grapefruit. Okay, that's everything we want for that. Okay, then it just goes into here, and well, we'll see how the shotgun mic picks up the shaking. Come on. Does not want to break. There we go. Now, I would normally, well, I wouldn't normally. You should probably serve this in a coupe, if you've got them. Otherwise, this is my version of a coupe. And this is just fine too. Whoa. I'll leave a little bit behind the thing. Okay, let me deliver one of these and I'll be back and we'll do a little taste test of this one. I don't know. Work it out. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so this is the Hemingway Dacquiri. Cheers. Yeah, that's a good drink. I'm not normally a daiquiri fan. Well, no, I like these daiquiris. Daiquiri gets a bad rap because restaurants and bars do horrible things to daiquiris. I've seen monstrosities with shaved ice and just blender drinks and ugh. Anyway, this is quite good. It's not as sweet as I thought it was going to be. Really? That's funny. I'm surprised actually that the shotgun shouldn't pick up Serena at all, but oh well. Okay guys, now on to the main event. We're going to talk about this dish. So a pasta Amatriciana is one of the holy trinity of Roman pastas. You have, we've already done cacio e pepe, which is just cheese and pepper. We have done a carbonara. We did carbonara, right? Oh yeah, our neighbor upstairs is, actually my new favorite phrase is, my brother Pete coined the term shark talker. If he stops talking, he'll die, which seems true because he never stops talking. Hopefully you can't hear him. Anyway, cacio e pepe, carbonara we did, and Amatriciana are the holy trinity of Roman pastas. Amatriciana and cacio e pepe are much older. Carbonara is more of a modern, like 50s, 60s invention. But they're all amazing. They're all amazing. And this one is one of my favorites. And we're going to talk a little bit about the ingredients. There are a couple different ways to do this pasta. Well, actually, no, if you talk to the people in Amatrice, anyway, the town, they are very specific about what is in it. It is literally guanciale, pecorino, chili flakes, pepper, and that's it. And tomatoes, San Marzano tomatoes. I'm going to talk a little bit about each ingredient before I prep, or as I prep them, I guess. So we have guanciale here. Now, you guys, my little local Italian place has this. I'm going to go back to this cam. This is very similar to pancetta. This is from the cheek. So the difference between this and pancetta is this has a lot more fat in it. It's a lot milder and smokier in flavor because of the way it's cured. And it's just I don't want you not to make this dish. If you can get this, do it with this. If you can get pancetta, do it with pancetta. And if you can't get pancetta, like a good smoky bacon will work just fine. Don't tell the people in Amatrice. Amatrice? Somebody's going to have to clue me in on that one. So anyway, we want to cut this into what's called lardons, which are like short fat matchsticks. About 1/8 of an inch thick here. As we go, and you can see how much wonderful fat is in this. And this just gives the sauce and the dish like the most amazing flavor and texture. Are there any questions about so far? Like we just sort of like ripped into this, I feel, but so I'm going to be making enough sauce for 4 tonight. So all the proportions here are for 4. This is about 6 ounces of guanciale, but I'll save half for another day and just sauce up 2 portions of noodles tonight. Okay, almost done. All right, so now we got these guys sliced, and then we just want to cut them into like about 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to take this guy, I'm going to zip him in half this way, and probably just cut crosswise into like, you want a decent sized chunk. So the difference between this and doing pancetta for carbonara is pancetta is a lot leaner actually. And so when it crisps up, you get like little nuggets, crispy nuggets, which is great for pancetta, but you wouldn't want that for this dish. These guys I can just slice straight up. Make it easy on myself here. Obviously you want a good sharp knife for this, but you guys already know all that stuff. And the last little bit here, and here we go. And that is our guanciale, which is going to go in like a little thing temporarily. One of the cool things is bench scraper. I love this thing. It's just so useful. I mean, you can do this with a chef's knife too, but this just gets everything at once, which is great. So one of the things that a lot of people have asked me over the last couple of days since I've been talking about this is onions and garlic. Why are there no onions and garlic in this sauce? And it's a really good question. And it depends on who you ask. So one of the reasons they're not in this sauce is because this is a pan sauce. So one of the things that makes this a great dish for like a weeknight dinner is that you don't have to let it simmer for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes, which you would have to do if you were using garlic and onion. But the other reason is basically flavor. You really want to achieve the right balance between your nice fatty guanciale and your tomatoes and your cheese. Like these are your ingredients, and you get a wonderful balance between the brightness and the acid in the tomatoes and the fat in the pork and just like a sharp edge from the cheese. And if you mess with that balance, it's still going to taste good. Like you could make this dish with garlic and onion in the tomato sauce, but it would honestly, it would overpower the balance. It would totally upset everything and make all of your star players into sort of like secondary roles. So we are not using garlic and onion, and that's the reason. Okay, so other ingredients that we are going to be using tonight, we've got a red pepper flakes. We're going to use a pinch. We have San Marzano tomatoes. Get San Marzano tomato, guys. You can get these everywhere now. They really do make a big difference. Just totally worth having. Now to prep these guys, it's a little bit satisfying. You get to use your hands. These are whole tomatoes, and I'm just gonna like hand crush them. Yeah, I'm just gonna hand crush them. You can, like at the end, you could puree the sauce or liquefy it, but I mean, this isn't that kind of like super fancy refined dish. So I just wouldn't bother. Just bust up your lumps and you got a nice, this is what I do anytime I'm in a hurry or I don't want to do something. My buzzword is rustic, and yeah, I just tell people it's a rustic presentation, and there you go. So our tomatoes are now ready. Cheese. There's only one cheese you can use for this. You cannot sub in Parm or any other cheese. I know when I did cacio e pepe, I used, what did I use? Comte. I used a French sheep's milk cheese instead of Pecorino Romano. You can do that with cacio e pepe. You can even put Parmesan in cacio e pepe, but for this dish, you need Pecorino, which fortunately you can get everywhere. And you just want to like, and Pecorino's like Parm, you can't really use too much. For 4 people, if you wanted to be fussy and weigh this out, you'd want about an ounce of it. I always err on the side of a little more cheese than strictly necessary. But I figure that's about an ounce. And it tastes wonderful. It's so good. And again, we'll put that in something temporarily. Got bench scraper. Put the cheese away. So, any questions on Pecorino? I mean, it's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Okay, what else do we need to do here? We got our, we're gonna have about a quarter cup of white wine, which I have right here. Tomatoes. Oh, and so for the pasta, if you can get it, bucatini, which is this stuff here, is basically like a thick spaghetti, and there's a little hole down the middle. It's a bigger noodle, so it has more surface area to catch sauce, but because of the hole down the middle, it's also not like a giant mouthful of thick pasta either. So you get a really nice balance because you have a little extra. It keeps your sauce pasta ratio right. So you have a lot of pasta surface area to catch the sauce, but the pasta isn't solid all the way through, so you're not getting like a huge serving of pasta. If you can't get bucatini, but I'm pretty sure you can because this brand is pretty much everywhere. I will always use the number 15. Don't go for 16. Don't go for 14. It's got to be number 15. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know what the number means. So, okay. Spaghetti will work just fine. You could use penne for this. I wouldn't do linguine, but spaghetti would be fine. Not a really thin noodle. Don't go angel hair. Don't go spaghettini or something like that. You want a pretty big noodle. Just keep in mind pasta sauce balance, and you'll be fine. Okay. Is that everything? Are we really just like prepped already? It's only 20 after 7. I'm gonna have a sip of my drink because I was talking up how important it is to drink these things fast. Any questions? Oh, pepper. And I'm short. Shoot. You want, yeah, rigatoni would be great too. Fresh ground pepper, which I need some more of. So I'm gonna go use my My camera didn't focus on that because it's focusing on my face. Come on, camera. Oh well. This is Kampot, black pepper from Cambodia. It's wonderful stuff. I still don't have a pepper mill, so I've just been like grinding it up as I need it in my mortar and pestle, which is actually a pretty great way to do it. So we just want a little bit of fresh pepper here. And this way you can also adjust your grind in a mortar and pestle. It's really easy to get the kind of, oh, it smells so good. You know, for some things you're gonna want like a fine grind of pepper, and sometimes you're gonna want something coarser. So for this dish, I definitely want a coarser grind because I like the crunch and the taste of the pepper in the dish. So so we have our pepper. God, I think we're actually ready to start cooking this thing. Let me turn the pasta water on. I should have done that. Paul reminded me to get the plates in the oven, so the plates are in the oven. This can go away. Yeah, it looks good. So for a pan for this dish, don't use a non-stick pan because you do want to develop like a bit of a fond as you're crisping up the bacon. I have this wonderful, this is a gift or a hand-me-down from my brother Pete, a vintage copper saute pan, which I just love, and I use it primarily for exactly sauces like this. So you could render, and again with this dish, guys, like Italians have argued about this dish and the origins and what you can do and what you can't do and what's appropriate. I'm going to start with a little bit of olive oil, which isn't strictly canon. Why is copper so good? It isn't really. Copper heats really evenly, but you can't really buy copper pots anymore. You can buy copper plated pots, but they're no different than this. This is copper plate over a stainless steel shaker. And I think it looks great. I bought it because it's pretty. But a copper pot is actually made out of copper, and, sorry guys, it's lined with tin. So the problem with copper pots is tin as a liner is great, but when it starts to wear down, it's really bad for you. And it's really, not good to work with tin. So getting these things re-tinned is a nightmare. And I almost don't want to get it re-tinned because I don't think people should be working with tin, but I'm sure they take all the appropriate precautions. So is copper better than like a modern triclad or quad or quintuple layered pan? Probably not. But it looks good, and this is a great, like, for me, this saute pan is exactly the right shape. For me, it's more about, it's got this amazing handle on it. It's bulletproof, bomb-proof, and it's just a joy to cook with. So the copper in the tin is kind of a bonus, but as I said, I really like it. Where's my... Okay, so now, first thing we're going to do is crisp this up. Yeah, this is a good one. I do most of my cooking I use this specifically for sauces. I do almost all of my other cooking that requires some sort of saute pan or whatever, and this guy here, which is a saucier. So it's like, unlike this pan, I don't know if you guys can see, this one it's rounded. So the nice thing about having a rounded pan like this is that nothing ever gets caught in the corners. It's really easy to prepare a sauce. This is a fantastic pan. And if you're cooking for two, like, the base of this thing is big enough that I can saute and fry things in it. I really love this pan. It's just a good general purpose, amazing. Yes, tomato sauce is fine in everything except cast iron. So tin is non-reactive. Okay, so this is going to take about 5 minutes, I think, to crisp up. This will do. And in terms of prep, like, so one of the things we talked about at the beginning, and one of the reasons I wanted to do this guys with you, do some of the prep, I only spent 6 or 7 minutes prepping my ingredients from scratch. And I was talking to you guys the whole time, so prep really doesn't take that long. Once you get good at it and get efficient at it, it's fine. I wish you guys could smell this. I have to figure out, like, some sort of smell-o-vision thing. I'll check the time here. So I figured 7:30 this will probably be ready. Okay. I'm going to go up on the heat just a little bit here. Get things moving along. So once the bacon's done, we're going to deglaze it with a 1/4 cup. So I should measure actually. This one missing there. 1/4 cup of white wine. I'm probably going to cook the wine off almost entirely. Oh, the mic is loud? Is the frying loud through the mic, or is just the mic itself loud? I can dial it back a bit. Is it, so you're still hearing the, like, cooking and stuff? Well, that makes sense. It's, like, right in front of the mic. Yeah, the frying is loud. I think that's just the way it's going to be, guys. Think of it, it's like my version of ASMR for cooking. The frying is loud, but I'm not. Okay, well, I don't know if I can adjust that or not. I think we're just going to have, like, some frying noises. Penny. Yeah. Oh, this just smells fantastic. And you can see all the amazing fat we're developing here, which is going to contribute to the sauce. Now the heat's too high. We're almost done here. Now you don't want this too crispy. You don't. Your Amatriciana should not be crunchy. So actually, I have a feeling going along just a little bit fast here. Okay, so I said 7:30, but I have a feeling this is ready. So now the tomatoes go. Oh no, tomatoes don't go in. Wine. That's gonna be loud. There we go. So as I said, I'm probably gonna cook this wine off like almost entirely. Sometimes it's good to leave a little bit of wine, but for this final sauce consistency, I really just want the flavor. I don't really want the liquid. Alright, so my pasta water is boiling, but I'm going to get, actually I can drop the pasta. Okay, my wine's cooked off. I can tell because I'm basically now just reduced to the bubbling fat. And the tomatoes. And the nice thing about this is basically needs to just like heat up and simmer for about, for about as long as the pasta is going to take. Speaking of which, give me a sec, guys. Come on, get in there. Okay. Okay. So any questions so far? This seems like it's heat up here a bit. I'll bring this up to like a simmer. The cheese will go in off the heat at the end. But one thing we can do is start to like season this. So as always, some tasting spoons here. So this will be, yeah, and the thing with guanciale is, if you've never cooked with that, and I've never used this particular sauce before, taste first before you add salt. And it definitely needs salt. So we'll start with a little bit of salt. I'm going to add some pepper. You can be pretty generous with the pepper with this dish. Remember, oh, my flakes should go into, I'm going to put just like a pinch of red pepper flakes in here. Okay, maybe 2 pinches. So in terms of the heat in this dish, because this is not, this dish should have some kick. And there's 2 places to get your kick. You can get it from chili flakes, and you can get it from pepper. And I love pepper. I mean, this is amazing stuff. And when I do cacio e pepe, I throw boatloads of that in. However, for this dish, it's like the garlic and the onions. If you put in enough pepper, if I put in enough of this to give it the correct kick, I'm adding too much pepper flavor, and I'm gonna start blowing out the balance of my other flavors. Remember, my trinity in this dish is the cheese and the fat and the tomatoes. And if I just overload it with pepper, I'm gonna again make those guys into like bit players, and they're really not supporting role. They're the leads in this. So what you want to do is get enough heat from this, and then your pepper is like an accent to add that like smoky flavor and heat to it. Past the 6 minutes here. And I guess the question is, am I going to drain the pasta or just tong it out? I don't know yet. So I want to taste this again as it comes up to temperature here. Okay. Wow. Okay. So we'll taste this for seasoning at the end. I'm going to let it come up to temperature and simmer for a bit before I add more salt. I think it does need a little bit more. The pepper flavor is great, although I'm going to add a bit more. And I don't have enough heat. So this is the other thing too, like when you're following, if you do find a recipe for something like this, and it says add like a teaspoon of red pepper flakes or whatever, like you can't do that. You have to taste it as it goes. Yeah, if we ever get smell-o-vision, you guys are doomed. This just smells fantastic. And yes, Paul, the plates were in the oven. We covered that at the very beginning. And yeah, so we talked a little bit earlier about cocktail suffering, and this does not taste as good as it did when I first made it. It's not bad, but it had this amazing, cool, bright, assertive flavor at the beginning, and now it tastes muted. Sorry, yeah, but you can smell it. And this all smells good. I mean, there's no sauteed onions, there's no garlic in this. This is just tomatoes. Well, right now it's just tomatoes and the guanciale and salt and pepper. Again, we're gonna let this come up to temperature. I do want this to thicken a little bit. So if I was making 4 portions of this, I would simply add all of the pasta right into here, which is what I'm going to do anyway. I'm going to add the noodles to the sauce and then pull them out and plate it, and we'll see where we get to. It would be easier if I was going to serve all portions at once, because then I would have enough pasta and sauce, the right blend. But I wanted to save some of the sauce for like down the road. And I also want to show you guys like the portions for making this for 4 people. Although, as I said, this feeds 4 Americans, so it probably feeds 6 Canadians. Or it feeds 2 Canadians and my son Finn, who eats like nobody I have ever seen. I'm happy with the consistency we're getting to here. I'm gonna do the final. I'm gonna do the final seasoning after the cheese is added, because pecorino is a very sharp flavor. So I don't want to season it with salt before the pecorino goes in, because that will change things a bit. Pan does get hot though. All right, we have 3 minutes to answer any questions before I have to start plating this thing. In the meantime, I'm gonna get my plates out of the oven. You guys still see that? Yeah. Again, for any kind of pasta dish like this, you do want your plates warm. I will say though, you do have to be careful. So plates in the oven always, guys. There's no excuse for serving hot food on cold plates. However, if you're doing like, well, for the other two of the Trinity, the cacio e pepe, or especially a carbonara, make sure your plates aren't too hot. Because the last thing you want to do is put your beautiful carbonara with its silken sauce with eggs in a hot bowl and then have the eggs scramble. That would not be fun at all. So, like for example, like I would not serve carbonara in these plates. They're too hot. All right, almost ready here. So the question is going to be, can I tong the noodles out or not? That's actually probably going to be off camera. Yeah, you know, I'm getting more cautious. Okay, I changed my mind, guys. I'm going to drain this. It's just going to be easier. But what we are going to do first is grab some pasta water. And I have 40 seconds to talk about pasta water. You'll see this in almost every Italian recipe. Why do you add pasta water to the sauce? And the reason is the pasta water is really, really heavy in starch, and it allows your sauce to bind and emulsify really, really efficiently. So we're now time for the cheese. So the cheese is going to go in. Off the heat. The heat is off here. We're going to give this a quick taste for seasoning here. Oh wow. One sec, guys. I think it's just a little more salt. Okay. Drain the pasta. Ooh, it's hot. Now I'm simply going to just toss that in there. So as I said, if you were serving this for like 4 people, you would have all of it in here, in which case this pan would be too small, actually. All right. Oh, it smells so good. Okay. Yeah, I can't hold that yet. Let's serve one portion here. I'm making a mess of the plate edges, but you'll have to forgive me. It's a little tricky. Okay, so we got dressed noodles. Let me get the last couple out of here. Oh, that was elegant. All right, I may not get every last noodle out of here. Okay, that one's gonna stay here. And I'm gonna deliver this pork, and I'm gonna add some sauce here. So, as I said, I do wanna top this a little bit. Get some of the good, there we go. Looks a little heartier. We still on food cam? Yeah, okay. And so let me just switch these views here. Prep this one. Where's my, and put a little fresh pecorino over top. Okay. Yes, Janice, I made double the sauce. So I made sauce for 4 because I'm gonna save some of it, but I only made enough pasta for 2. So just give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. Ooh, that's hot. Okay. This is out of the way. Bring the dish front and center. Wow, I made a mess tonight. Again, I want a little, just a few gratings over top for me. And I will take like a little, just, I know the pepper's in the sauce, but I really like pepper. You guys don't have to do this. So there you go. Guys, I hope you can see that okay. And let's try this out. Yeah. And you can taste right away the difference between this and a deeper, like a longer cooked red sauce, like for example, like Marcella Hazan would do, which is my go-to tomato sauce. The Marcella Hazan, and I think I've done that for you guys before, where you just take like San Marzano tomatoes, cut an onion in half, put it in the pan, a little bit of olive oil, some butter, and let it go. That is my go-to tomato sauce. This is entirely different because the tomato flavor is still so bright, but it has a perfect blend. Like there's a lot of fat in this dish from the pork. And it's just the perfect blend of like fatty pork and the sharp cheese cutting through and the brightness and the acid of the tomatoes. Yeah, this is a winner, guys. Really happy with the way this turned out. So I'm gonna have a little bit more of this. If you have questions about it, please ask. I'll shut my stove off before I set the place on fire. And I know you guys probably can't tell, but it is so hot right now in my kitchen. It's like, hang on a sec. Yeah. It's 29.5 degrees in my kitchen right now. Probably, actually, it's 31. This will definitely go in the book. Cacio e pepe and carbonara are already in the book. I don't make Amatriciana all that much, but I like the idea of having all 3 in the book. So I'm definitely doing that. Yeah. This is book worthy. I have decided tonight it's definitely going in. Excuse me. I can't stop eating it. Okay, well, I'm gonna mess my face, aren't I? That, and so guys, this has been one of the shortest streams so far. It's 7:45. We made an amazing cocktail to start the night, and we did all of the prep with you guys. Like, we did all the prep together, and we're eating, and we're not even 45 minutes in. So this is definitely a weeknight winner. Yeah, I don't know. And I really like the Bocconcini. Like, if you guys get a chance to find this in your supermarket, and you hold it up again. Don't want to focus, does it? Anyway, great stuff. It's a bigger noodle, and it's kind of fun to eat. A little harder to twirl, though. All right, well, I'm having some wine, guys. I'm going to finish my Bocconcini. I'm not going to chat just yet because I feel like, you know, we're only 45 minutes into this. Happy to answer any questions. But you covered everything I wanted to cover. And really happy. I'm going back to food cam. Like, this looks good, doesn't it? Made a mess of my plate, but I'm happy with the way this turned out. By the way, if anybody out there ever sees pasta dishes, so my ideal pasta bowl will have like a bowl part that's about this size, and I want the giant rim. Yeah, let's talk about next week. I'm open to suggestions at this point. I'm loving the Italian, but I'm open to pretty much anything. We've been talking about ducks, but I feel like we just did the duck crepes. I do want to show you guys eventually like what to do with a bunch of ducks, especially when they're on sale. Damn. That's really good. The guanciale is a really nice flavor. I'm really glad I found a local source for it. Okay guys, next week, what do you guys want to see? Let me put them in a row. Ducks, yes. I'm a little slow tonight. I could get my ducks in a row. Hang on one sec. Let me get my phone. No, it's, oh, here we are. Okay, so here are my ideas for. Nope, that's not the right thing. Stream ideas. So we did ducks and crepes. Oh, okay. So here's well, I'm totally down to buy an ice cream maker by next week and do gelato. It's on my wish list. So if you guys want to do gelato next week, I'm totally down for that. In the meantime, one of the things that's been on my list for a long time is a female bacon sandwich. I know that doesn't sound very exciting, but I really like back bacon sandwiches, and I particularly like the ones that they get at St. Lawrence Market. I used to go there with my dad all the time, and we would get back bacon sandwiches at the only place you can get them in the market, which names escapes me. And I go there now with my daughter. Every once in a while we drive down for we get our coffees and Starbucks, and then we drive down to St. Lawrence Market and get the back bacon sandwiches. Always split them because they're huge. And I've tried to recreate that sandwich at home several times without a whole lot of success. And in doing some research and talking to a few people, it's apparently because of the brine. So female bacon is actually something unique to Toronto. Female bacon and back bacon, are not the same. Not the same thing. A female bacon, and female is called female bacon because it used to be rolled in female. Now it's rolled in cornmeal. The name stuck. But apparently, it's the brine that they cure it in that gives it the flavor that I can't get at home. So I'm really tempted to I've gone to the store and I bought the little chubs and I've cut them up, and I've cooked them a million different ways. You know, I put them under the broiler, I put them in hot pans, I brought them up to temperature and done all this stuff with them. And it's still good, because let's face it, it's still a bacon sandwich, but I haven't nailed the, well, I'm just thinking about it. I haven't nailed the brine yet. I haven't started from a uncured pork loin and made my own. And I don't know if I can pull that off for next week, but that is definitely on my list of things to do, because I want to nail that flavor, and I want to nail a really good brine, because every back bacon sandwich, apparently the brine is like, it's like the KFC secret or whatever. So to be able to do a brine for you guys and give you something that you could take and make your own amazing sandwiches would be really fun. So that's one of the things on my list. And there are also other bacon sandwiches. There's the British bacon sarnie that is made with back bacon, which is a different kind of sandwich, but it's also really good. So let me do a little bit of research, and we'll see if we can get into that next week, because that could actually be pretty good. So, all right, well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm leaning towards the back bacon sandwich for next week. But you guys all know me, and you all know where I am. So if you think of anything else you'd rather see, just shoot me a message during the week, and we will figure something out. So in the meantime, I'm going to finish my dinner and finish my wine and probably make an old-fashioned, because I got a nice new bourbon I want to try. And I hope you all have an excellent evening. As always, I love doing this for you guys, and it's nice to have everybody together and do a little cooking for you. So this one, though, I really feel like this is a weeknight thing, guys. Anybody can do this. It tastes amazing. Maybe we need to revisit carbonara, because we haven't done that in a little while. But for now, take this one, make it on the table, 25 minutes tops, guys. So have a great night, and we'll see you guys next week.